Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hola, hola, hola. Welcome to the RJH weekly live stream. Welcome. Good evening. Lisa, Dave, Wayne, Magic Sock, good evening. So yeah, welcome to RGH live stream, Friday, the 23rd of July, 2021. And what a week it has been. What a week it has been. What? Hot. Get that. A week it's been. Cool. Monday to Friday, absolutely roasting. Feel like I've been on holiday. Hey, got nice and brown on the yard all week. So what sort of week has it been with you, ladies and gents? Yeah, so welcome to the live stream, RJH's weekly live stream. And tonight's tonight's topic is all about slow riding control. Something a lot of you will either love it or hate it. So tonight's subject is all about slow riding control. Comment away, ladies and gents. Got my new glasses, and they are occupational glasses, believe it or not. Never heard of occupational glasses. But where I'm currently sat, I've got 3 different monitors and paper books and reading material, phone, and the last year or two just been struggling. So it's about time I invested in these occupational glasses. So comment away, tell me what you think. Yeah, so there we are. Thought I'd get that out there before anything else. So before we get on to tonight's discussion, welcome everybody once again. Very nice to see you all. But I want to start off by giving my traditional congratulations. So congratulations, big congratulations go out to Team RJH, okay? And I don't get to see every single one of them every day of every week, but we do keep in touch on WhatsApp groups, got different WhatsApp groups and so forth. But a big congrats to Team RJH, who really are putting the hours in extremely warm conditions, coping with the demand that we are seeing at the moment. And I'm very pleased to say that we are continuing to see the demand of lots of boys, girls wanting to get onto 2 wheels and breaking every record that we've set, continuing to break every record. Lots of happy trainees coming through the 3 sites. So yeah, big congratulations to Team RGH, and also a big congratulations to all of our trainees, ladies and men, that have invested in RJH, and they've completed their taster sessions, their CBTs, their module 1s and their module 2s. It really does mean a lot, and I'm trusting that your experience with us has been successful. So that's for that one. Also, I personally again want to congratulate 4 people that have spent all week with me, 6 hours, 7 hours and 8 hours per day in extremely hot conditions. I've held the 3rd RJH instructor training workshop outside of lockdown 3. So this is the 3rd training instructor training workshop. I held it over at RJH Northwich on site JNS, and I have introduced Paul, Sophie, Mark and Ian, who spent all week with me, and they are an A team. They have done really well this week, And I'm sure that you will see them in the RJH school teaching CBTs and starting to develop their craft further as RJH instructors. They've done really, really well this week in extremely hot conditions, and I'm very proud of all 4 of you. So congratulations to them. And a final congratulations goes out to all of the people that have been messaging me through the YouTube channel, and it is sometimes daily, telling me of their stories from their experiences up and down the country and how the RJH videos have helped them. And it really is very, it makes me very, very happy to see lots of people up and down the country. And I've just spotted one of our instructors who's sent a photograph on Instagram. He's having a beer in the port of Gibraltar. They've got a nice little cool lager. And Peter, very nice of you to join us too. So the roads in Gibraltar are crazy. Definitely need some RJ8 basic training over here. Well, you put me up over there, Peter, for a week, and I'll come and join you, mate. Well, next time you ride down to Gibraltar, count me in. I'll ride down with you. How's that? So thanks for joining us, Peter. And trust you're having a good break, mate. And yeah, so there goes a big congratulations to all of those up and down the country that have let me know that the videos have helped them, have contributed to them in their goals of getting onto 2 wheels. I think that's all the congratulations out the way. So just a final reminder for anybody that's just joined in, tonight's topic is all about slow speed control. Slow speed riding control. I'm still sort of finding my way around the OBS software so that going forward, I can start introducing videos into this live stream. I can introduce graphics into this live stream. I'm still not quite where I want to be with them. So at the moment, it is still going to be as it is now. But you know, keep following the channel, and I'm getting there very, very slowly. But I am looking at introducing other aspects to it. So do follow that. Before I go on to the, sorry for all the sidelines. Before I go on to the subject, I also want to just remind anybody that's following us today, or anybody that plays back the video later on, you know, we have a very active social side to RJH. So you can follow us not only on the YouTube channel, but we have a Facebook page, a very active Facebook page, very active Instagram page, a very active TikTok page. And we have our own training from a Twitter page. So most social media platforms, we are present, and you can see what we're doing on a daily basis. Because I know the YouTube channel is great for, you know, uploading videos and stuff and whatnot, but for the live streams. But if you want to see what we're doing on a daily basis, then follow us on those platforms. Okay, most of the links are on the heading of the YouTube channel. So that's got another one out the way. So before we go on to tonight's subject, let's see who has tuned in. So Lisa, yep, good evening. Dave Smith, good evening. Having a few issues today. Hope you're well, Dave. Keep it up, mate. Keep up the good work. Wayne, good evening. It's Magic Sauce. Hello. Hooli 3, good evening. Paul, good evening. Redfish, good evening. As we said, Pete, good evening from Gibraltar. Anybody further afield than Gibraltar watching us tonight? Wayne started your dash with Graham last Sunday, really struggled with the figure for 8. So tonight Wayne, may benefit you, because I am going to be passing on my experience, my free of charge experience. Next year, 2012, I will be celebrating my first introduction of 50 years riding two wheels. First got on a motorbike in the summer of 1972. So I can give you some tips on slow speed controls, particularly on that figure of 8. So I've got all the faults in my mind ticking around like a well-oiled cog. You tell me what you're struggling with. I'll give you the bits that you can practice tomorrow, and all being well, that will get it sorted. So do stay tuned, Wayne. Good evening, Janine. Nice to see you back. And good evening, Bull Bag. Bradford, Bradford, we were looking. We want to get a school up there somewhere. Find me a nice redundant car lot on a nice busy road, and RJH will be up that way. He's giving you issues, Dave. Seen sort of 20 degrees in car park. Yes, Dave, I sympathise with you, mate. I've just had 5 days in a car park. No shade, no breeze, absolutely like a greenhouse. Hence, I'm looking like, well, I don't know what I'm looking like, but anyway, I look like I've been on holiday. Although, me personally, the hotter, the better. Good evening, AW8. Good. So, yeah, quite a few watching then. So, tonight's topic, slow riding control. And what is it? How do we do it? Where do we use it? Why do we do it on training and tests? All these questions can be answered. It's Magic Source. I just thought I'll pop in here and learn a lot, as I've just been given the all clear to drive, as do suffer from epilepsy. Sorry to hear that, mate. So it's a good idea to learn a lot before I book in for a CBT. Absolutely it is. And, you know, this live stream is a weekly live stream, and we have, I think there's 23 weeks now of live streams. So playback, and we've visited all of the CBT content, numerous occasions, and also below all the live streams is all the links of the CBT exercises that we've done. So you have a really good idea of what we've done before you go for your CBT. So it's a good one, Mag Source, and do please ask any questions that you want. Not only myself, but all these people that are commenting away have a lot of experience that they will be happy to pass on to you to get you going. How does that sound? Doesn't get any better, does it? Dave Smith, a bronzed god like myself, as long as we have kept up your water intake. Yes, definitely keep up the water intake. Stay hydrated in this hot weather, everyone. Good evening, Ken. That's a new one, Ken. You've not been on our live streams before, mate. So please do like the video, comment on the video, and subscribe. It really does subscribe. It really does help if you subscribe. Mark Gardner. Hi, Mark. That's 2 months ago, age 65. Good man. Yeah, you wish you did it when you're 25 now, but a lot to catch up on then, Mark. And I'm glad that you're... it's got a newfound pastime then, riding a motorbike. So hopefully you've got lots of trips and things planned. And tell us what bike and everything you've got, mate. We do like to know not only where our viewers are, but we like to know what bikes that you are riding. So at the moment, it is still only Mr. Peter Ramsey over in Gibraltar. He is the furthest away viewer in Gibraltar. That I know at the moment. It's an early evening yet. So hopefully we're all coping okay with the weather, and we're all going to contribute to this video, aren't we? We're all going to contribute to the content of this video, which is slow riding control. Slow riding control. What is it? Why do you have to do it? What are you struggling with? Where are you struggling? And let's get chatting, because it is a skill that you will benefit from, not only to pass your test, but you will benefit from it going forward down the line. And indeed, I get phone calls from guys that have passed their test, and they get in touch and they say to me, they've bought a new bike, so got a new bike, and I passed my bike test 40 years ago. So fantastic. What are you phoning me for then? And they phoned me up, they got a new bike and they fell off of it. And so, blimey, sorry to hear that, mate. You okay? Yeah. So they want a bit of a help. And I said, well, okay, well, what happened? So I fell off. So I say, well, where did you fall off then? And they said, well, you know so-and-so and so. So I said, yeah, I know where it is. And they say, well, I was turning out of there and I fell off. I said, yeah, and I know how you fell off as well. What do you mean? I said, well, I know how you fell off. And they said, you've not even met me yet. And I said, no, but I know how you fell off. And basically, it's where they've not been using slow speed control. And I'll explain more further. But basically, they pulled off at a junction, T-junction, turning right, both feet down. For whatever reason, they needed to stop, front brake, turn, boom, over it goes. And you'd need to be Arnold Schwarzenegger to even hold up a little 125. So slow speed control slow ride control is tonight's topic. Ken Medway has got a Yamaha D-Lite 125 automatic. Very nice. Japanese. Very, very nice. Slow speed is all about clutch. No, it certainly is, but it is not only just about the clutch. So who can tell me what controls you use for slow speed control? And I'll tell you another little story in a minute. Just lubricate the anyway, Paul Sugden, back brake, yes, good. Anyway, nobody has commented on my glasses. So are they an improvement or are they not an improvement? Nobody is commented on my new occupational glasses. And these particular ones are Hackett. And I've got another pair coming, Hugo Boss. These are Hackett. I've got another pair, Hugo Boss. And because you get one, you buy one pair and you get one pair free. How's that? Comparison time of glasses. Glasses look good. Thank you very much. Suit me. That is fantastic. Well, I think they're here to stay. Brilliant. Thank you very much. You can always look back on my other videos. Clark Kent. That'll do. I don't think I've got his bod. I don't need to wear glasses when riding, but I do need to wear glasses now for the computer, and if I've got a little notepad in front of me, and I've got my phone, and I've got another screen up there and another one, and I was getting fed up. If I can see this, I can't see that. So occupational glasses seem to be what they say. My goodness me. Fantastic Module 2 pass down in Wales, isn't it? Down in Wales, Michaelo. Fantastic. What a great feeling passing your Module 2. No, they're not bifocals. They are occupational. Mark, 75 Honda 250, never took test, now Suzuki SV6 and Triumph Trophy 12 and dropped the trophy twice in the same place doing a U-turn. Glasses are outstanding. Thank you very much. Right, Mark, drop the trophy 1200 on a U-turn. So slow speed control, young man. That's what that is. Slow speed control. So there's a few ways that you can describe it, because slow speed, you can ride in a straight line in first gear, and you could. Well, I'm not telling you to do this, but the bike would ride along on tick over if it was on its own. If it was going in a straight line, the first gear, most modern bikes, the engine, the modern engines will ride along on tick over, just ride in a straight line, which is fine. But that's slow speed. Slow speed can be anything under 10 miles an hour. But what I want to talk about is slow speed control, because what if you want to start turning and stuff like that? You're going to need to use fighting the controls, if you like. You're going to need to tighten up that bike and get the drive going forward, but then rein it back in at the back. So the controls I want you to think about are your throttle. No, not necessarily it's mag source. Small bikes, bigger bikes, they're, once you've mastered the control, it's relatively straightforward. It's about building your confidence up and your skill level up. But the bike it's amazing what you can do with the bike. So I want you to think of your throttle, your clutch, and your rear brake on slow speed. The golden rules that we always recommend on slow speed are two golden rules. Do not, if you're feathering, we call the clutch feathering, slipping, riding, jockeying the clutch. So, the clutch is not engaged and it's not disengaged. It's feathered, and I'll go on to that a little bit more in a moment. But you use the throttle, the clutch, and the rear brake. And if you're using those three controls together, and you can actually do quite a lot with that bike. And you can practice this. If you've got your own bikes, you can go into a car park and practice it, where you're not getting any traffic. Go and practice what you can do with the slow speed control. First gear, get the revs. So what's your tick over on your rev counter of your bike? Is it 1,500 revs? Yeah, so 1,750 revs. So get your rev counter up to about 3. Try it on about 3. First gear, control position. So if you remember what your control position is, right foot covering that rear brake. Don't want you to cover that rear brake. I want you to put your foot firmly on the rear brake. Janine W, I dropped my bike the other night due to the camber of the road falling away. I'm only little and on tiptoes as it is. Loads of people drove past and didn't stop to help me. Luckily, no damage to bike. Janine, that's not good that nobody would stop and help you. But I can give you a few tips on that scenario alone. Because like you, Janine, I'm only little. And I've had two GS 1200s, GS 1200, GS 1250s. The adventure bikes, and tiptoes on feet. Doesn't mean I can't ride the bike. I can ride the bike very successfully, but I had to really think about where I was stopping. So I needed to look at the road, look at the level surface, the cambers, and I'd always avoid the cambers, or if there was a camber, I'd put my foot on the pavement. But because I know that if I lean that big bike the slightest bit upright, off the center upright, it's going to go, and I'm not going to hold it. But I'm glad you're okay. You can learn from these mistakes, all right? But do look at where you're going to be stopping. So let's get back to that slow speed control, the gas, clutch, rear brake. So if you are in first gear control position, set the revs at about 3,000 and get the clutch on the bite point. But your foot is firmly on the rear brake. Your foot is firmly on the rear brake. So you feel the back end of the bike dip down. It wants to start to move forward, but it won't move forward because you've got your foot on the back brake. Now, you don't want to let the clutch out so much that the engine labours and then stalls. So listen to it. You don't want it dropping too far. So, and at that point, the bike wants to go, but it's not going to go because you're firmly on the rear brake. The revs will probably drop. So if you have it on 3,000, engage your clutch and hold it back, the revs are going to probably drop a little bit. So at that point, you can just increase it a little bit more again and get it back up to about 3,000 revs, but you're not going to go because your foot is on the rear brake. Practice this in the car park. Then what I want you to do is sufficiently release your rear brake so that the bike starts moving forward. You don't need to do anything with your hands. And then you can just control the speed with your rear brake. Have a little play around with taking a bit of pressure off the brake so your speed speeds up, and then apply a little bit of back brake, your speed starts slowing down. So there's a really big emphasis on controlling your speed with the rear brake alone. Try it. And it's fighting the controls. How else can I describe it? It's a bit like this. Let's see if you get this. So that's your front end of your bike and your back end of your bike. And what you're doing is you're pulling it in the middle. And you're pulling it in the middle by giving it drive on the front and reining it in, holding it back with the back brake. Okay, try that. And if you try that, you can turn as little as you want. You can turn as much as you want. You can turn that bike on full lock if you've got that coordination correctly. Now, yes, you could ride along in a straight line in first gear and feather the clutch without using any rear brake at all. Fine, but that's not the coordination that will get you through all of your maneuvers and all of your exercise. You know, you couldn't do that moving out behind a parked car. You couldn't do it around a mini roundabout. You'd need to get the coordination to have much more control of your bike. So we'll come on again in a moment. Who else we got? Yeah, Redfish, nice relaxed arms help me, not tree branch stiff arms. AW, Janine, typical of modern self. Yeah, it is. Hey Rob, I've got the turtleneck. Thank you. Next time I'll win the full set lifesaver this video. Thank you, Rob. You're welcome, mate. All the best. Glad you're joining us. Pass mod 2 today. So there's two people that have been watching the videos over the last few weeks. For the last few months. DRs passes mod 2 today, and Michaelo passes mod 2 today. Glad the videos have helped. Fantastic. Slow speed on a hill or slope was another, I'm guessing. No, the coordination is the same. The important thing is on a hill, the process is the same. Gas, clutch, get your drive, hold it with the back brake. Gas, clutch on. Yeah, hold it with the back brake. Obviously, you're going to leave your back, release the pressure with the back brake, and you're going to start moving forward. And if you're on a hill, it's very important not to release that back brake if you haven't got drive on the clutch, because the clutch on the drive, the clutch on the drive, on the bite point, will prevent the bike rolling back, or, yeah, certainly rolling back on a upward hill. So the clutch, you could think about 3 positions, isn't it? Traditionally, we would consider the clutch to be 3 positions. 1, disengaged. 2 is engaged. 3, sorry, let me repeat that again. Ignore that last comment. Position 1 is out, which is engaged. Position 2, your bite point. Position 3, in, which is disengaged. So out is fully engaged, middle bite point, in is disengaged, freewheeling if you like. So think of, instead of thinking of 3 positions, think of 7 positions on the clutch. So you think about 1 and 2 is disengaged, 6 and 7 is 1 and 2 is engaged, 6 and 7 is disengaged, and then the 3 in the middle, so 3, 4, 5 is your bite point, which is where you can slip the clutch very, very finely. So rather than going 1, 2, 3, your bite point's on 2, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So your bite point is on 3, 4, 5. Okay, that friction zone. The bite point is the friction zone. So be aware of that. Be aware of that. Now, so slow speed in a nutshell, gas clutch rear brake. We can all do it if we practice it. So who's struggling with what? Let's see who was struggling with what. Now, I've seen one of our pupils down here. I've not met you yet, Wayne, but I know you've been in, mate. So you started your DAS with Graham on one of the bigger bikes last Sunday, and you've really, really struggled with the figure of 8. You're back tomorrow morning, so I will see you tomorrow, although I've got test runs tomorrow. I am in St. Helens on module. I've got 4 module 2 tests in St. Helens tomorrow. So I will see you, Wayne, at some point. I struggled with my figure of 8, back tomorrow. So perfect for me tonight. So then, Wayne, what were you struggling with? Did I see another comment further down? I could not seem to turn fast enough on the figure of 8. Think I was worried about going too fast. Well, there's no speed measurement on the figure of 8. So we don't measure the speed. Your examiner won't measure the speed on a figure of 8. So what speed is good for a figure of 8? Now so if I was teaching you on a figure of 8, I would say to you 6, 7 miles an hour. Let's get 6, 7 miles an hour. The important thing is to get that coordination of controls. So before you even get into your figure of 8, have a play around, big circle, get comfortable with front end drive, rear end drag. Fight the controls, and then let's get an emphasis on that rear brake controlling your speed. You can leave everything else as it is. You can leave your gas as it is. You can leave your clutch as it is. And then get that speed set. Then you can start working on a few other things on a figure of 8. So who has heard of counterweight? Who's heard of counterweight on a slow speed exercise? The figure of 8, the slower you go, the harder it is, by the way. So get that rhythm of 6, 7 miles an hour. So how I would teach somebody to counterweight, because if I tell somebody to shift their body weight, they're going to do that physically, which you don't need to do. So how I describe it, and some of you ladies might chuckle at it, but I'm not getting too personal, but you got 2 bum cheeks. Yeah, we've all got 2 bum cheeks. And if I'm turning right on the figure of 8, I shift my right bum cheek to the left of the saddle. And I do that, so I'm not even moving my body. I'm just shifting my right bum cheek to the left of the saddle on a right turn. And that will prevent my body weight going with the bike. So try it. On a left-hand turn, so on my left bum cheek, I shift that to the right-hand side of the saddle. Okay, and that will prevent me. Yeah, I've got that right, haven't I? Yeah. So I have to think then, well, a little brain sees up then. So on a left-hand turn, my left bum cheek on the right-hand side of the saddle will prevent me leaning left with the bike. Try it. It does work without really physically moving my body weight. Very, very, very important. You do not, on a turn, put your foot down. Your foot down on a figure of 8 will allow the bike to lean to the side that your foot has gone down. And there is a very, very good chance you will drop the bike. So very important, you do not put your foot down. It's also very, very important that you do not use your front brake. Do not use your front brake when you're turning on the figure of 8, because again, you will find the bike will stop and then your foot is going to be down. You're going to lean the bike because the bike is turning, and you will inevitably drop the bike. So no foot down, no front brake. They're the two really golden rules on a figure of 8. Also, very, very good tip is to turn your head. You can, if you try, you can turn your head without turning your shoulders. Yeah. Try all of those and see how you get on. Turn your head chin to shoulder, yeah, without using your body. I'm just going to open the window, so excuse me a minute. It did get a little bit warm. And you know, practice, and if you've got a good instructor, practice different things. I can remember I've had a young lady was struggling on a figure of 8 a few years ago, and she just couldn't turn to the left. So fault IDing, try this, try that, try this. Confidence was sort of down here, something like that down here. So I said to her, hop on the back of the bike. So I had her on a pillion passenger, and I was showing her figures of 8, showing her how the bike would lean, where I was looking, how I was controlling the bike, how I was and absolutely nailed it. Eventually, she wanted to pass her test. So, you know, try different things. You don't look down. Don't target fixate don't target fixate at an object. So is Wayne still listening in? Has that helped you, Wayne? Yeah, I mean, with the slalom, use your body. Don't, you know, you can put a little bit of pressure on the bars, but you don't want to be doing this with the bars. Just dip your, yeah, get a nice rhythm going. Trusting the bike. Yeah, so clutch control is important. So if you're a little bit tense, you know, you're turning left on a figure 8, you're going to bring the clutch in off the bike point, lose your drive, lose the friction, and the balance is gone. So, you know, get that drive, use your brake for the rear brake, more emphasis on the rear brake, keep the clutch moving, the bike will keep moving. It's all about relaxing, looking where you're going, and you can do it. And counterweight, yeah, don't overthink the counterweight, just shift your rear to one side. Try that. It does work. It's tried and tested. It does work. Counterweight, yeah, so we've all got that. Counterweight is so important. Good evening, Andy. Mr. Andy, who is going to be my mentor on OBS. I've got it all set up already. I just need a bit of tuition. And Andy, who is Fortune HD, is going to help me with my OBS software. You're in the capable hands, Wayne, so we will get you there. Yeah, we will get you there. So that's a figure of 8 then. What about that dreaded U-turn? I suppose it's much the same, isn't it? The control is much the same. Andy is a nice man. He is. Andy is a nice man. He's a good lad. So U-turn is going to be pretty much the same. It's that, and I think with the U-turn there is very, very much this when people come to us for the U-turn, when people come to us, they've not even ridden a bike, and they have this thing about the U-turn because they've read it. They've read it, and they've read about this dreaded U-turn, and they don't know. They've got this, and you can see the colour. So, and that's even before they've got on the bike. So the U-turn, I think, is much the same control as the figure of 8. Well, it is slow speed control. It's much the same as in you want that rhythm, that pace. So we would teach somebody to do it 6 or 7. It's very much the same that you don't want to use your put your feet down, and you don't want to use your front brake at all. It's very important that you look where you want to go. And yes, it is very important to counterweight it. If you don't counterweight it, then there is that fear that you're gonna lean over the way that you're leaning and fall off. And get that coordination, get the observations, get the counterweight in, look where you're going. Bob's your uncle. Give it a try. So slow speeds on your module 1 test, your slalom, figure of 8, and your U-turn. Slow speed on module 1 straight line is slow, about 4 miles an hour, but it is easier to go slower in a straight line, as we said. Once you start turning, that's where you start doing silly things with your clutch and your throttle and your brake. Just leave everything as it is. So get that emphasis on gas and clutch driving forward, back brake dragging it back. All you need to worry about then is the back brake. It's just a little bit less for you to be thinking about. Give it a try, and I want you to report back to me. Let me know how you get on. To be honest, you were okay with a U-turn, found it okay. I think I just lost my confidence on the figure of 8. Yeah, it can happen. But let's peel all the layers back and keep it really, really simple. And it's not a great deal different. Okay, so we'll sort it. On your CBT, then, your slow speed, again, you're going to be doing slow speeds in straight lines. You're going to be slow speed figures of 8. You're going to be slow speed on U-turns. But your slow speed isn't just doing it for those exercises. That when you're out on the roads on your own, it's going to be T-junctions, turning, mini roundabouts, moving out behind cars, just slow speed in traffic, various real life situations. So I had a little story that I wanted to tell you about slow speed, and it was quite a surprising one, because we do not teach our trainees to ride when they're moving off. We always teach you to move off in the control position. And for those of you that don't know what the control position is, it's in first gear with your right foot covering the rear brake. That's the control position, and you're ready to move off. And that's a position that I was taught when I did my instructor training 20 years ago. And we still use it today. And we certainly know when somebody's had a bad CBT, when they come in for lessons and they've not done the training with us. We can tell whether they have had a good CBT or a bad CBT. So we won't present anybody for tests. We've ironed all of that out. So when they go for the test, control position, control position, control position. And we were at the test centre one day. I had 2 lads with me on a test. And there was a young lady, and she was on a module 1 test on the yard with a school that we know. We know the school relatively well. As you get to know different training schools in the area, and you get to know what their standards are and so forth. But this young lady was on a module 1 test, and from a distance, my lads were watching. We don't go right up to the fence or anything like that. We watched from a distance. And the young lady in question, every time she moved away, both her feet were down. Every time she stopped, both her feet were down. And that was a pattern that continued through every exercise on her Module 1 test. So my two lads were watching from a distance, looking at me, and I didn't comment, and they both said to me, well, she's not going to pass, is she? We don't do that. And I said, no, you don't do that. You've been taught the correct way. And she finished the test and she disappeared into the test center, office, classroom. She came back out, passed. And we couldn't believe it. And my two lads said to me, she's passed, I can't believe it. So I said, oh, I can't believe it either. Every time she pulled away, both feet down. Every time she stopped, both feet down. I said, don't you worry about that. You carry on and do what I have taught you. This is a few years ago. So the next time the CBT enforcement officer of ours came round to do his visits, because we get standard checks. People come round and check our instruction regularly to make sure that we're not cutting corners and this sort of stuff. So I raised the question with my enforcement officer, and he said to me, yeah, he said, it's unbelievable, isn't it? But they cannot record any fault. I said, I can't believe it. Because the young lady has been allowed to do what she's done. So that now is going to be a lifelong style of stopping and starting. Both feet down, stopping, both feet down, moving off. Which is great in a straight line. Now, I get phone calls from guys that have passed their test 40 years ago, bought a new bike, and they phone me up and say, Rob, can you help me out on slow speed, moving off? I've dropped my bike. I say, yeah, okay, where did you drop? They say to me, well, I dropped it here. Do you know? I said, yeah, I do know it. I said, which way were you turning? Right. He said, yeah. I said, right, I know exactly what you've done. What do you mean you've not even seen me yet? I said, no, I don't need to see you. So you've moved off on that junction, turning right with both your feet down, haven't you? And then something's come into view and you've had to stop suddenly, so you used your front brake. Down it goes. Now, that young lady in question has been allowed to pass her test both feet down, getting away with it in a straight line using the front brake, straight line. Now, she's going to now move off at an angle, use that front brake one day, and she's going to be over. And that is so avoidable. It's not a good habit to have in. And that is why control position. So that's my little story there anyway. Who else we got? Wayne, thanks. Wayne, I keep doing figure eight around the slalom. I have a mental block. Open face helmet helps you a big like me as opposed to full face. Yeah, gives you better peripheral vision, and yeah, makes your neck a little bit more nimble, I think. Might join me. Yeah, ski club to pat. Yeah, move your body, move your hips. Doing the right routine on paper, ball bag. I'm thinking outside the box. I'm not a trainer, but I have had staff member with Asperger's. Yeah, nice. I am left-handed and find it very difficult to not have my right foot on the ground. It's not a good habit to have in, Mark. Honestly, it's not a good habit to have in. Take the weight of the bike on your left leg, which means that your right foot plays such an important part on the whole physics of the bike with that rear brake. So that's a bit about slow speed. What we got then? Slow speed. So this video, if you play it back, will help anybody doing the training. It will help. Anybody else struggling with slow speed by anything? Be guided by your instructor or see if Rob has needed. Yeah, Mark. My wife Melanie has a Keyway 125 with link brakes. How does this affect slow speed maneuvers when just use it gently? Yeah, those were we had the Yamaha YS 125. They had link brakes. Just be very, very gentle. Yeah, when you sort of press the back, that you can see the front, but be very, very gentle. Shouldn't affect it at all. Just be delicate with the controls. Control position doesn't matter what size bike. Yeah, slow speed control, control position doesn't matter what the bike is. We would always recommend that left foot only coming down. All right, only recommend that left foot coming down. Borg, I can't seem to find a helmet to fit my long head. Do you recommend a long fitting? Try J&S. Just get in touch with J&S on their website, and they do most of the brands. Only ever put my left foot down. Well, my tiptoes. I can't flat foot at all. Yeah, you don't need to. Ball of your foot, tiptoes, ball of your foot. I'm rarely flat-footed, but when I do stop, even on sort of tiptoe, ball of my foot, just make sure that I keep the bike in an upright position. So I know exactly what you mean about that camber, because the floor's not there. And it's just gone too late, which is why prevent it earlier. Look at where you're stopping. That's what I had to do on my GS. When sometimes I wouldn't stop in a particular place because I knew if I did, the floor's going to be an inch lower and I'd be over. So you can get around it. Ball bag, slalom. I keep doing figure 8 around the slalom. So it's not a problem if you go around the first yellow cone. I don't teach you to go around the first yellow cone because I use more space past the last blue cone. And it's important if you come through the slalom and into the 2 blue cones of figure 8 and then treat it as a slalom still, then you're going to come back on yourself. So you haven't got the space. So once you go through the slalom, then you go through the blue cones for the first time. Use the depth, use the space, watch some of our videos. But if you go round that yellow cone, that's fine, ball bag. You can go round that yellow cone. It is not a problem. Just don't hit it. Yeah, to be honest with you, the helmets I use for teaching, I use for riding because it's got all me communications and my cameras. So, and at the moment, if I'm perfectly honest, I don't ride outside of work other than if we go off to Scotland or if I do a bit around Europe. And then I'd still wear I've got about 4 helmets at the moment on the go. I've got the Shoei, I've got the Schuberth, I've got a couple of HJCs, and I'm looking now at getting a new Shoei. All of my helmet, I've got 2 white ones, 3 white ones, and a fluorescent one as well. But I'm looking at getting another one, and no doubt it'll be white. I prefer white helmets. All right, yeah, you do find that you get helmets and they all, a brand fits you. So HJC fit me very well and Shoei fit me very well. I don't get on with Arai, and I've not really tried a great deal of others. Yeah, that's all it is. Be aware of where you position yourself, where you're stopping. Even some of the roads, you can come some of the heavy dual carriageways. heavily trafficked dual carriageways and motorways, things like that. And the roads where the wagon tires go in and the roads are dipped down, be careful of them, honestly. And that was one of the biggest stressful sort of things when I used to ride the GS, is that I had to think where I stopped. Always in my mind where I'm stopping. Rob, I've got my mod 2 at the end of the month and will hopefully pass. I've already bought my bike, a stupid big lol. Was wondering what you think a decent first bike for a DAS middle-aged rider. Right, Scratch 83. Go back about 4 weeks ago, and I had a video. I'm going to look at what it is now. It was a live stream. And it was a month ago. So go back in our portfolio of live streams, and the live stream was the top 10 first big bikes. And on there, you'll see how I open it up, and that is that you need to make your own decision. Everybody has a different opinion. So Janine's got an opinion. I've got an opinion. All these people commenting have got opinions. So take from them that opinion, but you make your own mind up. So get that video on there. It was streamed 1 month ago, and it is streamed 4th of June. It was top 10 first big bikes. So have a look at that. An 09 Daytona 675 is a beautiful bike. Triumph Daytona is a beautiful bike. I think one of the, I don't know what you're all finding if you're all getting around the bike shops and stuff like that, but I think when I'm talking to different dealerships and stuff, speaking to me, this can't get the stock. I can't get the stock. So there seems to be a shortage of bikes. I don't know, has anybody experienced that? Let me know. And of course, I think because there's a shortage, the prices have probably gone up as well. But prices have gone mental on the private market, yeah. So prices have gone up. And stock is in demand. Yeah, so slow speed. I'm hoping that's been useful to some of you. Practice it on the car parks. Practice it on your lessons. But it is a skill that you need, and I think a lot more emphasis on the tests today. Certainly since the Module 1. The Module 1 came into force in April 2009. It was launched. Prior to April 2009, the old test, slow speed, wasn't as emphasized. I think on the old test, you could get, good evening, Sylvia. Here she is, Sylvia, the sergeant. So the slow speed prior to 2009 wasn't as emphasized because, the only slow speed exercise you would have done on your test was the U-turn, and people could blag that. You could get around that, and you didn't necessarily have the control. You get around. As long as you got around, you've done your observations, you didn't put your foot down, you get around, whether you're controlling the bike or not. But on today's test, since 2009, the Module 1 test, you cannot blag it. You cannot blag the slow speed control. You need to be comfortable on the slalom. You need to be comfortable on the figure of 8. You need to be comfortable on the U-turn. You need to be comfortable on slow speed in a straight line. So if you are struggling, it's going to come out. So do think about the slow speed carefully. My advice to all of you that have got a test up, don't try and do it on a shoestring. Don't think, oh, I'll give it a go, because if you fail your Module 1, there's a very good chance you're going to be waiting for a few months to get back in because schools are very busy. So invest in the time, listen to your instructors. If they say that you could do with a little bit more training, do so. Get back on this channel and ask questions, because, you know, you want to go and pass this test. Yeah, we don't teach trail braking. That's come, yeah, we don't teach that. So braking, we will teach you certainly for the practical tests to brake in a straight line, front and back brake. Leave the front brake alone on its own and use the back brake for your slow speeds. Avoid braking on bends where possible. Sarah, good evening, Sarah. As a new name, Sarah, new on the channel? If so, please do like the video. 27 people watching, only 19 people have liked the video. So does that mean that 27, does that mean 8 of you that are watching do not like the video? Do you not like my new glasses? So please do subscribe, like the video. It really does help, ladies and gents, and comment away. So much experience on here, free of charge. I went for my first CBT whilst training. I struggled with balance and turning right. I didn't complete the figure of 8 in the yard, but was still allowed out on the road, resulting in me falling off. That is not nice to hear, Sarah. That is not nice to hear. If you are struggling with the figure of 8 on the yard, why would you go on the road? But that is up to you and your instructor. But hopefully that hasn't knocked your confidence. Hopefully you can get yourself out of it. And yes, as Sylvia has said, come and see RJH. We train a lot of ladies. Well, we train a lot of people, but we train a lot of ladies, and we can help you. But that is not the sort of things we like to hear. Do we teach wheelies? No, we do not teach wheelies. Smack my legs like it now. Sarah, come and see me. Yes, come and see Sylvia. Probably going to find it very hard to get a one-to-one CBT, but we could offer a one-to-one CBT, but it would come at a premium price because an instructor can do 4 CBTs, but we could sort something out if you would like a one-to-one CBT, but it would cost you more money. A quick Google suggests Triumph offer lower seat for yours. I say this is as lowering kit. I just saw it there. Not on purpose, no. Not on purpose. There are people that do teach wheelers. I've seen this company teach wheelers, and they teach. They have a framework, don't they? That you can wheel it up, and then you won't fall back. Can we please give a big shout out to Melanie Rowe? Is Melanie Rowe on the live chat? Well done, Mark. All the best. Thanks for joining the live stream. And yep, do pop in again. Here she is, Melanie. Melanie, so where are you then, Melanie? Are you biking? Are you thinking of biking, or what's the plan? You trained with us? Don't recognize the name. Have you subscribed to the channel? Please do subscribe to the channel. Hey, look at that. Just because I mentioned about 26, we've got now 26 people have liked. So great. And 29 people watching, 26 have liked. Fantastic. Yeah, he's quite a big YouTuber. Baron Von Grumble. Baron Von Grumble. But yeah, we don't, not yet anyway. Don't need to be thinking too much about that. Let's get people onto 2 wheels first. let's get. Do you know something, Melanie? I cannot tell you how many people come to us from that school. I cannot tell you. We get people coming to that school, coming to us from that school. I keep telling Sylvia we need to go and buy that school and open up an RJH there because Ashley lives up there. That should be a plan, Sylvia. Go and buy them out. But yeah, wheelies and stuff like that at the moment, we're not too concerned about that because for us, we're introducing people from the very, very entry level, the early stages. And I am thinking of bringing in some lessons which might be of interest. So like a slow riding control clinic or a slow riding control academy, and maybe have a lesson that we could get maybe half a dozen bikers coming in and we can do a group lesson on the slow speed skills. Or it might be a little, cornering. So maybe, we could do a live stream on cornering because I know there's not a great deal of emphasis is given to people on passing their test on cornering. And a lot of people have problems there. So that might be an idea. But I think lessons on that might be of use. Birch is a CG125. My husband has been riding years, and I'm hoping he can teach me a few things to get my confidence back. Can you offer any suggestions? I'm a bit wooden. Yeah, Sarah, be careful about, I know with all good intentions, hubbies like to get you out and teach you, but remember, he has been riding for a long time and he's not an experienced instructor. So he might not get the level of tuition right. Or even if he's coaching you, he might not get that level of coaching right. I would always recommend come and have a refresher. Back to biking or something like that. Might cost you a couple of £100, but it's better than riding outside of your comfort zone, riding outside of your skill levels and coming unstuck could cost you a lot more. Okay, so I would always recommend, I know hubby has the best intentions, but I always recommend get a bit of private tuition. Extra slow training would be great. Yeah, I've got me thinking cap on 24/7 and things just constantly turning around, but there's only so many hours in the day. And but yes, Melanie. Oh, I think I might have met you, Melanie. Oh, I think you did. Were you in the Melanie, were you the girl that was in the other day? I think it was you I met the other day. 2-hour taster session with Sylvia. Hubby and kindly booked me in with a 1-to-1, and he told me if I wasn't really up to it, even though I did the maneuvers. Said if it's too much, do it on a scooter. Sylvia is so patient, can't recommend her enough. Sarah, great. Yes, I think I have met you. Good. So yeah, you're in the right place. We will look after you. So then, hopefully tonight's video has helped. I've put a lot of links in the description below of what module 1 exercises for slow speed you're going to come across. But do keep following us, keep in touch with us. But I think we've been on for about just over an hour, so I think I'm just about ready now to say good night to you all. And it's been a pleasure as always. Hope you all have a good weekend if you're out on the bikes, and keep me informed as to how you're doing with your tests wherever you are, up and down the country. And yeah, any questions you can ask away. There is always somebody able to help you. All right, so well done, everybody. Nice to join you all tonight, and stay safe, all of you. And I might sneak another one in midweek rather than Friday, or as well as Friday. We'll see how we go. All right, so until then, bye for now. Bye. Bye.